Hello everybody, do you hear me? Delp 11, hello man, nice to see you again. Today I decided to continue mistakes in opening. This will be second part. Kruchi 96, hello. Hello, Amin, how are you man? How are you doing? Nice to see you. Welcome. I had some break of streaming, so today I decided to continue. And I decided to share some opening mistakes and traps and this stuff. Hope it will be interesting. Can you confirm that you hear me well? Because sometimes some issues with sound. I hope it works now. Okay, so I wanted to start with a very beautiful game. It was played in 1936 between Cooper versus Lemke, and let's see what happened in this game. White started with e4, and Black offered to play Alokhin system. We know that after e5, knight d5 is the main Alokhin line, but White decided to play knight c3 here. And Black continued d5. Very possible. So happens. e5 is the main line here. Edit by White. Knight d5. 1 second. I guess my chat again stuck. I will restart it. Moment. I don't get any messages. I have some issues with chat all the time. So after knight d5, uh, White continues very logical move. Bishop c4, attacking the knight, asking Black what is the next idea, or take, or c6, or e6, or knight b6 like was played in game. Bishop b3, and now c5 played by Black. Can be very possible that in some blitz game your opponent can play c5 with either catch your bishop. Normal continuation was knight c6 here. Black is okay, but c5 played, and let's see what will happen next. So d3 logical move, avoiding c4, knight 6 by Black. So they want to build up the strong center, but they're losing too much time. Knight f3, aiming knight g5, and e5 Black played. More safe was in this position e6 to reduce the power of this bishop. And after castle, what the hell is this? After castle, still White's position more preferable in this. Okay, ones and okay, but Black is okay. But after e5, what happened here? Castle by White, and now Black played another inaccuracy. But already it was not easy to play because after bishop is seen, rook e1 was a very unpleasant move. In case of f6, you cannot make the castle, and some troubles here. Ezra, hello. I don't know what was player's elope. It was because it was played in 1936. Hello. I very doubt it was any elo that period because elo created it later. Uh, so after e5, castle was played. White doing very logical moves, they developing, and bishop g4 by Black. They wanted to pin this knight, maybe some knight d4 idea or bishop d6 castle, but h3. And now they made mistake, and thanks to that mistake, we will see beautiful game. Yeah, Ostanoveo, hello man. Black played bishop h5. Probably for it's already Bad position for black, but bishop h5 by force getting disaster. Uh, for example, in case of bishop d7, there was knight g5, and not possible to defend this well, this pawn. Bishop f5, rook e1, also was quite unpleasant. So that's why they decided to play bishop h5, and now it will be a little bit long. Uh, it will be long. It will be long. Sem of legal, mate of legal. So knight e5, beautiful move. Attack is the bishop. If black would knew what happens to the king, they would probably decide knight e5, queen h5, but still position is lost. Uh, they took on d1, and what happens now? Beautiful way by white here. They took bishop f7 check. King e7, bishop g5 check, king d6, and in this position, very strong move, knight e4 check. This was very strong move. The point that black king take on e5 opponent, but in case of bishop 7, there was very bad end game. Bishop d8, rook d8. We first take on c6, take on d1, and with two pawns up, it's easy win in the end game. So black decided to go king e5, at least not suffer, or maybe they just don't see what's going on. So after king e5, f4 check, king d4 only move because king e5 is a mate on g3, beautiful mate by with three pieces. King d4 was played by black, and after king d4, simply rook a d1 with idea c3 check and mate on e1. Yeah, so after rook a d1, black played king e3, and this game reminds me a little bit famous game of Edward Lasker. Everybody knows that game. Rook f3, king e2, rook d2, king e1, and rook f1 mate. Yeah, this is how from e8 king all the way go to e1 and get mated. First, when I see this diagram, I thought it's some mistake, you know. I thought it's white king or something, but then I understood it was black king walked through the whole board. Yeah, this is what can happen. Disaster in in this rook fe1. I don't know if faster or not, but it's not so beautiful because he can take on d3 then after c3. Harika Kush, hello. Thank you for following. Yeah, long walk. Rocky, Minnesota. No, Rocky Mountain. Yes, Colorado guy. Hello, man. I mixed it up with another guy. How you doing? The chess child. Thank you for following. Yeah, he wanted to play endgame, like yeah, or maybe he just was in the uh, too much influence of stains. Let's see what can happen to black if they play inaccurately in dragon system of Sicilian. So it was played in 1966 between Ufero versus Grozdov, so two Russian players, e4, c5, or better say Soviet Union players, because I'm not sure. Maybe they've been some from Ukraine also. Yeah, it actually was played in Lvov, Ukraine. So knight c3, knight c6, knight ge2. I also play often this with white, idea of knight g2. In case of knight f3, the black has choice of e5 here. And knight g2, after e5, you can take this square like that. It leads to an unpleasant position for black. So g6, d6 is who likes to play neither or Rouser on this type of lines, like Rouser, they would play d6 here. But in this game, g6 was played. E Kovacic, thank you for following. Yeah, early morning Colorado. Yeah, I understand. Should be like I don't know what exactly, but I feel like it's for you. Maybe for you, maybe like around 7 or 8 morning. Yes, maybe 8 morning. Not sure. Uh, so G6. You are going to work probably, yeah? Little chess. Instead of coffee, you decide to have chess breakfast, right? Kovacic. Okay. Probably you are Yugoslavian or some Croatian or Serbian, so zdravo. Tom Ken, hello man. Serbian, okay. Kako si? Okay, d4, cd, knight d4, and so suddenly after these tricky moves in oblique, we anyway transpose to the dragon system. Flavio Souza, thank you for following. Bishop e3, knight f6, bishop c4, bishop e2 also possible, leads to more quiet game. So bishop c4, castle, bishop b3, d6. I think there is also line d5, ed knight b4. But okay, d6 and f3 played by white. So the idea of f3 is obvious, not allow this unpleasant move, and this bishop so important, we need to keep it on the board. So f3, coffee and chess together with breakfast. Don't forget to eat something, man. Okay, bishop d7. Yeah, very possible that in your game your opponent play like this. Yeah, bishop d7, open, connect the rooks, open this, freeze this square for the rooks. Queen d2, preparing the long castle tradition, and queen b8 is an old move. The main line nowadays is rook c8, the knight d5 goes to c4, and so on. Yeah, this is all theory. I'm not playing it with black, so I'm not an expert, but let's see. Kaisa Hong Kong. Wow, cool. My beloved dragon. Nice account name, Kaisa Hong Kong. Portuguese accent, maybe because I was in Portugal once, in Lisbon. I'm kidding. So, Queen D8, Queen B8. Yeah, Chinese. You're funny. So, and white plays h4 immediately. Very possible. Not waste time on long castle so far and try to attack immediately. Rook c8 played by black. The idea of h4 probably after a5 is idea take and play a4. To have a4 and rook is still here, supporting this pawn. Maybe that's why. Hello, hello. So rook c8, logical move. Avoiding this bishop h6 with either bishop h8. But unfortunately for black, they uh, take all the heavy pieces, what can be useful, especially queen, some defense or something, uh, too far from the king. And we'll see now what happens here. So long castle played by white and b5, logical continuation. In case of h5, try to stop this pawn. It could be interesting to take knight c6 here. And after bc, bishop h6, unpleasant move here. And with idea some queen g5, and this pawn is weak. Yeah, so b5 played by black. So, or logically, yeah, queen b8, rook c8, you need to play b5, otherwise it's just no reason to play like that. Um, After b5, what happened here? h5, logical continuation. Uh, White is not distracted by knight db5 here, because knight a5 and black really have control chances now. After queen d3, uh, yeah, for example, black can play here, like, I don't know, maybe even taking a5, a4, or okay, I mean, this is not in spirit of position to give some chances here for black. Uh, that's why they continue after b5, h5. So, who is a faster? A usual question in Dragon. And after h5, uh, black played knight a5 here. You see that black's counterplay is very slow. They're wasting so much time, and white is much faster and more logical. For example, knight h5 would unpleasant move knight d5 here. So idea to take on c6 and knight e7, and black is in trouble here because the pieces are so far. Yeah. JT, hello man. Thank you much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Always nice to see you. You're very respectful man. Always give compliments. Always welcome. I did not see you recently. Is that you streaming? You have break also? You go for break in streams or maybe focused on your own work probably. Ah, you've been sick. Okay, okay, I understand. Hope you recovered already. Yeah, stay healthy. Strelets, hello, hello. Twist, twist the donut. Hello, nice to see you again. So h5 and black played knight a5. Yes, they try to at least do something here, but unfortunately for them, they are not in time. Hg, they took knight b3, knight b3, and they take Ag here. Thank you, limitless. Thank you for following. And they took Ag. After Fg, knight d5 was a very unpleasant move. That's why white took with knight here to have opportunity to take with queen here. C chess 20. Welcome. Thank you for following. Hello, limitless. And we see that black's position are really very suspicious. For example, knight d5, queen d5 leads to lose the pawn lost after e6 is the best move we take and just no compensation because king f8 we take here and after king h8 just mate in few moves here check and then queen f7 check and mate. Yeah, that's why Ogi Pes, Bravo. They took Ag with the idea after bishop h8, h6 to play bishop h8. And what happened here, guys? What do you think? What kind of punishment by white here for such a waste of time? ST chess. Hello, hello. Everything is perfect. Martin Koch, hello. Yes. Bishop f8, very strong move. Look at this. Look at this idea, guys. So the bishop free, d square for queen, and then combined by this rook, it became unstoppable ideas here. So first of all, bishop e7 is a threat. Another threat, for example, if we play b4, there is a mate in three moves. We take here, then we give check, and whatever you play, you will get mated on g7. King f8, for obvious reasons, leads to mate there, and after bishop f8, black desperate in desperation they took this bishop, but after rook h8 check, uh, it's a decisive sacrifice. Queen h6, king g8, and knight d5, strong move. Reminds me a little bit ideas from the famous game Karpov versus Korchnoi, when this knight also was distracting pieces. And black resigned because mate is hanging, and in case of knight d5, there is a rook h1, and mate here or here. In case of queen d8, we simply take, play rook h1, and the same mate is impossible to defend. Thank you for following, guys. Axel Androvich. Thank you. Yeah, this is what can happen when you play inaccurately and wasting so much time in the opening. And next, I want to show you a very common trap or mistake by black. It can be very easily, you can trap your opponent in blitz at least. Yeah, knight d5 was what a move. It is a point of this. Yes, yes, exactly. So d4, imagine you are white, you play d4, d5, c4, and your opponent plays solid system. Flavio Souza, knight d5, because in case of rook h1, there was knight h5 move. And knight d5, queen d8, it's not immediately win. Maybe it's still dangerous, but knight d5 just leads to mate. Because after queen d8, we exchange the knight on f6 and no defender. That was the point. It's always useful to eliminate defenders. Yeah. So knight f3, very possible you play with white like that. Knight f6, so one of the main moves knight c3, another idea cd, and e3, very popular line nowadays. Bishop f5, logic continuation, and the main move now knight c3, e6, knight h4, and everybody from top players play like that. But queen b3, you can trick your opponent like that in blitz. So you're attacking the pawn, and if he doesn't know a good reaction here, he can get in troubles. For example, queen c7 is a normal move here also, but queen b6, for example, he plays, and you take cd here, and after cd, he don't wanna create that you can create weakness of these double pawns and penetrate with knight here, and he decides to take here knight b, queen b3, a b, and now knight d5 is the safest move here, but still it's playable here. Knight c3, e4, and this stuff, or maybe first bishop d4 not allows this kind of ideas. But cd, black did not wanted to play here because knight c3 is unpleasant move with either knight b5, and they thought, why not to exchange this knight first, which annoys it. After rook b1, then play cd, e6, knight 6 with solid position. But after bishop b1, there is this the trap, dc you can take. Quick Mozuko, hello. So dc here, very unpleasant surprise. You can imagine you play bully chess or something, you take, and from first sight, your opponent can think that you just blunder. And the best move is now knight c6, rook b1, and you're pawn up. But he thinks that you blunder and bishop b4, and you just lost the piece, right? Here is a protect. But all suddenly, after bishop e4, rook a7. This was the idea. So we want to take the rook with winning position. In case of rook e6, c7, and it just promotes here or here. And game is over. Okay, yes, my plan today, first I will show you this opening, traps and the variations. Then I will make some break. And then probably I will switch to or Botvinnik games or Karpov games. I don't know. Up to you. And Botvinnik I have on paper. I can hold it in my hand and be like a priest. Or I have electronic book of selected games of Karpov. We can continue. Yeah, this was very it can be very useful, this idea. Queen b3 and then cd, dc, and rook a7. If opponent doesn't know this idea, he can Rubinstein also I have, yes. Yeah, Flavio Souza, you're right. Yeah, a lot of tricks to trap opponent. I think in the last stream about openings, last game what we checked, it was Larsen versus famous game Larsen versus Spassky, when he played b3 move and then got crushed very quickly with this h5 h4 opening the h file, and famous game. Now let's see how one opening can switch to another, and then how black can lost very quickly. So e4 move, knight c6. We know that this move calls Nimzovich opening. So he has KD Fantasy. Thank you for following. He has two openings. Hello. Like, at least two openings with Nimzo Indian. We know that this is a Nimzo Nimzovich also played this, and this move also Nimzovich opening, like Alyoshin opening. For example, this is Alyoshin opening, this is Nimzovich. And d4, the most principal move, d5, and ed. Other continuation is knight c3, and after d5 or e5 here. And after ed, queen d5, knight f3, position will suddenly switch to Scandinavian. It can be possible to happen like that. Ed, queen d5 instead of traditional knight c3, for example, d4, knight 6, knight f3. So we still get the same position here. And let's see how can black lost very quickly in blitz games. Yes, b3, nimsula, yeah. So after this, bishop g4, most logical continuation, right? Pinning the knight and preparing the traditional long castle in Scandinavian system. Bishop e2, long castle. Imagine against you playing some very active player here in blitz. So, and c4, very interesting move here. Queen h5, logical continuation here. Put pressure on here. h3 is quite useless because he's still pinned. d5 here. And after e6, maybe even knight g5 is very interesting here. I'm not, uh, I'm not expert here, but probably this was the idea of in this game to attack here, to attack here. Yeah, but imagine that your opponent he sees this move, bishop 3, and after bishop f3, queen e5 check can be possible in bullet chess. And black hopes that you play queen e2 or bishop e2. After bishop e2, maybe knight d4 is an exchange here. Queen e2, go to endgame. But bishop e3, very strong move here. So bishop e3 here. And queen b2. Your opponent can think that you just blunder this. But probably black already should feel the danger to play e6 here. Then you play knight c3, castle, and you're better. Ruches, hello, hello, welcome. Queen b2 was played by black, castle here. And now it was necessary to play or knight b4 or knight e5. But after knight d2, still white has a big advantage in development and in position for the pawn. You see that after you play rook b1 and attack. But your opponent can think that you hit to plant the rook. No problem. Just and what happened here? After queen a1. What do you think, guys? Yes, strategy. DC. Look at this move. Look at this. Look at this move. And your opponent can think in some bullet chess or something. You just giving wrongly this path after rook da. For example, BC is just simply bad here. Here is a queen b3 or queen a4, and look at this pawns here and free attack. And so all pieces are stacked. So rook d1 here, then cb check. Obviously, if king goes to d8 or d7 or d8, we just check and then promote. So king b8 only move, rook d1. The mate in one is hangs. Only move is c6 to cut off this bishop diagonal. But anyway, you take care. So this is a threat, and then b8. And after king c7, rook d7 check, king c6, and b8 knight. And there is a mate. Look at this beautiful mate. These kind of things can happen. In Baggio. Hmm. Thank you very much. As I understood, this is International Master Baggio, right? Yeah, this is a beautiful mate. I like it. Thank you for compliment. Let me find some interesting. Rip, Rip, Banzal. Hello. Quadraspas. Hello, man. Nice to see you again. Hmm. What? How are you doing? Lucky Fritter. Hello. Do you think Rajabov will be able to play candidate? Which candidate? This candidate? I guess no. I'm doing perfect, thank you, Quadraspas. Vino 84. When I will play Jihad? God knows. First, let's put it another question. When we will play tournaments at all? I want to find some interesting game, interesting ideas. Give me some time, guys. Give me some time. I speak with some Russian accent. I don't know why. Do you want to be the world champion? Online world champion, probably. Post-COVID world champion. Oh, thank you for tuning, Strelets. We want to see you in world top 10. Say go, go, go. Thank you very much, Riches. Have you shaved, Butter? You don't look a day over. Yeah, I did not shave. I just make it shorter. It was really too much. I was look like, you know, like some terroristic guy. Okay, now very possible pandemic champion. Yeah, terroristic night. Yeah, like it. Okay. So what can happen? Very funny opening here. Let's see some fun game. So e4. I'm sure who solved Puzzle Rush survival, and not only he solved these ideas before. So c5, knight f3, e6, and there is a b4, typical blitz style of move. It's very interesting to use it in blitz short controls. Yeah, yeah. This is a interpretation of Sicilian gambit. It can be here immediately b4. So knight f3, e6. Maybe input this move and this. Maybe it's not bad for white actually. So cb, d4 and d5. Also, knight f6, bishop d3, bishop e7 is a normal continuation for black. d5, e5. So this looks like a hybrid of Sicilian gambit and French system. We see that after b4, this pawn distracted this pawn to b4, and now no anymore threat to this strong center. So this was the point. So a little bit also reminds me like gambit Evans gambit idea: b4, bishop b4, then c3 d4. Younes, hello. Who is the best player plays the Nimzo Larsen in your opinion? Hmm. I know that Rapport is playing, and also recently Nepomniachtchi played it in this Rapid and Blitz online. Yeah, but sometimes we play we both all three playing a different style, different way. And Nepomniachtchi was played a little bit recently. He I think uh, he he played a little bit like I was doing before, very similar ideas, and he had I think good results. So when you play such a system like Larsen, Nimzo Larsen, like b3 first move, for example, you need to be in very good shape in that day because yeah. Jobava Rosen, you don't like Rosen or what? Why? How so funny. Okay, e5, 97 was played by a black. Logical continuation. Try to bring this knight somewhere. Yes. bishop this or here and protect. And knight e6 is played by black. Also was possible knight b6, and in case of h3, this is like reversed idea of Benko system, yes? After b5, when black played b5, cb, a6, so same. So knight a5, yeah, this was the idea. But black played knight e6, a3, bishop e7, ab, knight d4. Bishop e2. This bishop, we have to be careful. We need to this bishop for attack after c3, bishop d3, and put pressure on the king side here. So castle, both sides playing logical moves. Knight 6, and bishop goes back on d3. Knight d7 was played by black here. Yeah, I would play with big pleasure against Alexander. Uh, and h4 played by white here. And thank you for following, guys. Fertre. And never see your account name before. Probably your new guy. Welcome. So h4, typical ideas in this position. So preparing this bishop h7. Thank you for following. And f6. And now most probably black seen the next sacrifice of white. And maybe they wanted to play here uh, after bishop h7, knight, king h7, knight g5. Now we see that fg loses. Yeah, this is a Patzl rush idea. If we take check, king g8, then we give this check here. You have to take because king f7 leads to mate after check. We give check and mate here. Homeless Wi-Fi, hello. And in case of king h8, there is a check, g6 with idea, and after knight f6 we take. Yeah, this is a Patzl rush and give this mate. They've seen this idea most probably, but after knight g5 they was going to play king g8 here, I'm sure. And now in case of knight e6, he simply go queen b6 and he's okay. And after queen h5, they wanted to take fg here, hg, and probably play knight d5 in this position, controlling this important g6 square, so not allow the g6 with idea mate. And after knight d5, d, rook f5 here, pinning the pawn, or knight d5, g6, knight g6, queen g6, and bishop h4. This is how probably they calculated. They wanted to defend because after g3 there is a queen f6 move. Attacking queen, attacking this pawn, and still black is holding. But in case of bishop, instead of bishop h7, knight g5 here, strong move. This was an unpleasant surprise. Now they should probably decline the sacrifice. They should probably take fe here, and after check king h8. Now queen h5 is a simply bad move without the mate because knight f6 attacking the queen. And in this position probably knight e6 white should play, and queen e8 in this position. But anyway, after bishop c2 here, white has better prospect in this position. For example, rook f2, king f2, because rook, in case of rook f6 there is also fork. King f2, in case of check, we play king g3, queen e6, queen h5, king g8, bishop f5. Yeah, and still white is better. But after knight g5, black took on fg, and then they got this mate. After bishop h7, check, and we see already this idea. Take this g6 and man. Yes, this is how they lost this game. Now, the famous game of Emmanuel Lasker. I'm sure that this famous game, a lot of in the chat, you know it, but let's see again. It's beautiful idea. So F4 played Emmanuel Lasker against Bauer. It was played in Amsterdam, 1889. So long time ago. D5, E3, knight F6, B3. The combining of Larsen with Bird. So this is like a reverse Dutch system. Something is different today. What do you mean, Richard? What is different today? So B3. Katzen Schinken. Hello, man. Nice to see you again. How is situation in Germany? Bishop B2. Bishop E7 was played. Bishop D3. This bishop dangerously and very angrily looks to these pawns, this diagonal. B6 was played. Me. So B6, knight F3, bishop B7, knight C3 was played. So white, Manuel Lasker simply developed his all pieces. Logical. Knight BD7, castle, castle, and knight E2 was played. Obviously, these knights are transferring to king side to support the attack on the king. Weather is not so good, but it is not cold. Okay, so optimal weather, perfect. C5 was played in this position, but serious consideration deserved knight C5, obviously, to exchange the strong bishop. I don't know why Bauer did not play it. It was logical move. He played C5 in this position. Knight G3 by Lasker. He's concentrating all his forces against the king. Now knight E4 was good move here, and try to exchange this bishop or neutralize its power. But black plays carelessly, queen c7, knight e5 was played by Lasker. Now, very interesting was d4 now. Sacrifice on the pawn and close this diagonal. In case of ed, cd, now good move is queen e2 in this position to support this knight, then develop like that. But black is also has con chances. They can play rook d8, then knight c5, and so on. In case of bishop d4, bishop c5 was very unpleasant move here. Attacking bishop. In case of c3, we can take knight e5, fe, and take queen e5. And there is a pin. And in case of bishop c5, we simply take c5, knight e5, queen e5, and black. Yeah, I would prefer black's game because this bishop is very strong. Also, d file, c file is open. We can operate with rooks here. But instead of this, Bauer continues play carelessly. He takes on e5, bishop e5 by Lasker, attacking the queen. Also was good fe in this position. In case of knight d7, queen h5, weakening the king's position. Queen h6 with either knight h5 in this position. For example, knight a5 loses immediately after knight h5 because there is no defense on g7. We cannot take because of mate. Um, or knight e8, queen g4. And then we can even double rooks here and a lot of initiative. And after knight e4, uh, bishop e4, d, rook f4. This was also very tempting, but in this case, we would not have such a famous game. So thanks to Lasker, he took on e5 with bishop. Queen c6 was played by Bauer. Probably he wanted to play d4 now and aim in g2. Queen e2 played by Lasker. So he not only uh, control g2, support g2, but also not allowing c4 move here. And also bishop b5 is a threat. For example, rook c8 with idea c4. After bishop b5, you simply lose the queen or need to give this bishop. So queen e2, nice move. a6 played by Bauer. Probably he wanted to play next move rook c8 or this rook and then or like b5, c4. That was his idea. But we see that he's playing it too slow. And Lasker played knight h5. So this knight made a big career. Go to g3 and four moves was played with a big effect here. Now black took on h5 because they cannot go on d7. This hangs. d4 was refuted by knight g7, strong move in this position. After king g7, there would be check on g4. On king h6 is mating one, so only move king h8 and queen h3 here. And queen g2 would be only move, and then we take in simply better endgame. Otherwise, there is a mate. And after what happened in the game, Lasker here decides the game with a famous attack. Can you calculate it? Who who don't know, it will be very nice to find it. So who knows these ideas? Please don't say anything. Let others think. Baggio, you are funny. That's actually not so much to proud about. I stopped to play recently. What do you think? What happened here, guys? Ivanov, вечер добрый. Lost too much money going all in on a two pair. Yeah, something like that. Okay, if you know the game, Delp, don't say. Yeah, yeah. So, okay, tips Saitun, bishop h7, we all understand that you see, but you need to calculate the whole idea. What's the point? How Lasker won this game by force. There is no defense here already. It's beautiful and same time very effective. I know the game, great game, never see. Баdur, очень интересно твое мнение по поводу переноса турнира претендентов. Какие твои мысли? Никаких мыслей, я там не участвую, так что разберутся ребята без меня, я думаю. Раз принесли, значит надо было. Brahim, Rook, not Rook. Yeah, this is the Lasker. Hello, man. So Bishop h7, strong move here. Check. King h7, only move. Queen h5, check by Lasker. King g8 and Bishop g7. Yes, 19. Yes, exactly. 1889. Yeah. So now mate in one is coming. King g7 played by um, forget his name. Power. Yeah. King g7. And in case if black declines offer, after this, rook f3 is winning with either rook g3. In case of queen e8, it will be check, king f7, queen h7, and black are hopeless. And after bishop g7, they took on g7, but Lasker calculated till the end. After check, we cannot go here because of mate in one. Oh, sick! What did I click again? Oh, 1 second. This was, I guess. Ah, okay, I found it. Thanks God I found very quickly. Oh, how was here? Queen 7, I guess. 22, a6, knight h5, knight h5, bishop h7. Okay, so he took on g7, queen g4 check, and king h7 only move, and rook f3. This was the idea with rook h3 mate, and the only move is e5 to support with queen, check on h3, queen h6, rook h6, king h6, and queen d7. The point of combination. If not this move, black still be okay. I mean, it's bad position, but not hopeless. So to queen d8, it became hopeless because both bishops under attack. You will lost one of them, and game is over. Yeah, this was a famous idea. Let me find something interesting. Okay, let's see one game of Miles. Tony Miles versus Brown. It was played in Lucerne 1982. So Miles played knight f3. And no, I didn't show you. It was not me. So c5 was played by Brown, c4, knight f6, knight c3, e6, e3, uh, knight c6, d4, d5. From the English system, we transpose to a Tarrasch system. So here is a different moves, maybe even a3, slow move, waiting the opponent's I move cd or dc, what was played by Miles. Uh, a3 idea to wait when bishop will develop and then we win tempo dc. So sometimes black also wait with a6 move here. Use move to put the bishop on a7 in case of b4, or just take cd here. So dc by Miles, bishop c5, a3 he played now, a6 by black. Also was possible simply play castle here actually, and after b4 he could just go on d6 and use that cd. We cannot take twice here because we'll be check on b4 and then lose the queen. So this was also possible, but Brown played a6, b4, bishop a7, bishop b2, castle, logical play. Queen c2 was not also possible without the rook d1 and pin, but Miles played rook c1 and d4 played by Brown here. And this move it's not good because the white will have better development after this. Um, the natural continuation was queen e7 without the rook d8 here. In case of dc, bishop c4 here, b5, bishop d3, and after bishop b7, it was also normal play, castle and knight e7 without the knight g6. Still, after queen c2, white's position is more preferable. They'll play rook fd1, and this queen still have some troubles to find a good place. Maybe something like that, g6, rook d1, queen e7 would be possible. Okay, this something like that black should play instead of they played d4 here. So d4 was played, ed, knight d4 here. And c5, strong move by Miles. He's cut off this bishop to support this knight and ask this knight what to do. So knight f3. We see that black is losing so much time here. E5 was sharpening the game here, but it could lead after knight e5. In case of bishop b8, knight c4 here. And in case of rook e8, pin the knight, there is a knight e2, very unpleasant move. Attacking the knight, in case of knight e2, we first take here and then we take here. Instead we spawn up. So this was, black is not ready for such an active play in the center. That's why they took on f3, queen f3, bishop d7. And now Miles played bishop d3 here. So black is offering to take here. Probably they wanted to take on c5 in this position. With idea bc, rook b8 and take here. But after bishop c5 was strong move knight e4 and white is still better here. Because rook attacks bishop in case of knight e4, queen e4, then bishop d3 attacking h7. We see that these two bishops on these diagonals are very strong. But Miles instead played bishop d3. Bishop c6 logical continuation attacks the queen. And knight e4. This was the Miles idea to attack this square. Knight e4, bishop e4. And queen c7 was played by black. In case of exchange on e4, it's we see the difference between this bishop and this. And also on queen side, white's position is much preferable because 3 pawns against 2. And now he played queen c7. That was the point. And what do you think? How Miles played here? Try to calculate. This tricky position. Try to understand what's going on here, guys. Bet how Abab, I guess your name. Queen g4 is a mistake, I guess, because after a5 you lose the bishop. Queen protects this square, and this is a fork. Simply, simply swindling. Thank you for following. Welcome. It's not rook c4. So first, tell me bishop h7, king h7, queen h5, king g8, bishop g7. Is it works or not? Uh, Jose Baria. Yes, you write that variation, but is it works or not? Can you tell me? Rook c4 after g7. My pet god. Thank you for following. Miles here played castle, strong move. The point that tempting bishop h7 in this position doesn't work because king h7, queen h5, king g8, bishop g7 looks like white is winning here because we cannot take, there will be check and then this rook will come here and mate here. But in this position, f6 very strong move here. And all suddenly black is okay. Because bishop f8 simply rook f8. And the point is that after queen h8 check, king f7, bishop f8, the not rook f8 because of check on h7, we take the queen, but intermediate, very important check on e5 here. And after king f1, rook f8, when it's already white has to be careful here because this bishop extremely strong and these rooks are not connected. Yeah, simply gets simply swindling. You sacrifice both bishop and get swindled. So that's why Miles played castle here, and his opponent Brown played rook a d8 here. And after that, this combination works. Uh, but after rook f d8, yeah, it's Tony Miles, the famous British player. It would not work here, but they could get Anthony Miles, yeah, or Tony shortly. And after bishop c6, they would anyway get decisive advantage because in case of queen c6 here, uh, there is queen g3 unpleasant move attacking this pawn. Normally, this bishop has to be on f8 to have good position, but now f6 not possible. We take because of pin. G6 will lead to queen e5, and after bc here would be queen g4, very unpleasant move. And in case of e5, there would be f4. In case of f5, there will be queen e2, unpleasant move. And we see that this attack, a lot of squares are weak. Rook f1 coming, so white has a big advantage. G6 is also not so good because these squares are so weak. Yeah, we can penetrate with queen here. So this how could game would continue. But he played rook a d8, which looks more logical. But now, unfortunately for Brown, this variation works. I don't know why he allowed this because it's a famous idea. Bishop g7 and f6 now is loses because of check, and now we take on f8 and there is no check, and now queen g7 next move and winning the queen, or rook f8, queen h7. And that's why black played f6 in this position. No, they played king g7, I mean, but check on g5. In case of king h7, rook c4 with mate, they play king h8 and not rook c4 because f6 and queen h7, but queen f6 check, tricky check, and after this rook c4, and Brown resigned because there is a mating idea, and in case of bishop f3, we simply play rook h4 and just give mate here, no defense. Let's continue these ideas. Flip the board. It was played between Vladimir Kirillov versus Furman. Furman was a very strong player in Vilnius 1949. So e4 was played by white, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, a6, bishop e4, knight f6, so the Spanish line, and main move is castle, but queen e2 was played by Kirillov, also possible, and bishop b3. The idea sometimes to attack after e4 this pawn, also sometimes after castle this rook can go to d1 after c3 support. Bishop is, but it's not so popular in top level. Hello, hello. So bishop e7, a4 was played by Kirillov, and b4 by Furman. And other continuations are bishop b7 or rook b8. But b4 was played, and bishop d5 all suddenly. Usually white continues castle or a5 here, or this d3. But bishop d5 decided to win the pawn. And after that, Furman took on d5, ed, knight d4 here, attacking the pawn. So knight d4 is forced, ed. We see that Furman will get potentially very strong bishops. So castle, castle, and queen c4. So probably his opponent thinks that he will win one of the pawn and will have good position. But c5 was here by Furman. So white has to take the pawn, otherwise just bad position. We can play in f5, bishop e6 or d6. So they took dc here. Beer Bully, hello. What's up, man? dc and queen c6. Otherwise, was not sense to put queen on c4. So queen c6 was played, and rook a7 by Furman. So he wants to put his bishops on b7 and d6 and aim these diagonals. The beer is good. Beer is good when you have it. So okay, 7, and also black uses that whole queen side is not development. So queen f3 played by white, rook c7 attacking the weakness, queen d1 and bishop b7. So we see that black's play is very logical. For only one pawn, they have such a big activity here. d3 finally, white opens some space for pieces for bishop here, and also knight can come and close this diagonal. So when you sacrifice the pawn for initiative, you have to be very quick not to lose the initiative. So bishop d6, Furman aiming, knight d2, and he played rook e8 here. Also was interested to play queen h4, attacking this pawn, and in case of h3, queen f4, aiming the mate, and after knight f3, queen f5 was very interesting too, because white cannot take here, duel of queen e5, attacking knight, attacking mate. In case of knight f3, we first eliminate the knight and the mate. Of course, this is not forced by white, but was interesting. He played rook e8 here. So after rook e8, knight e4 was played by his opponent. No, sorry, knight c4 was played. Yeah, actually, I want to tell that knight e4 was considered like interesting option here. Yes, to try to give back this pawn and reduce the power of black's attack. That's why maybe queen h4 was also strong here. But his opponent played carelessly knight c4 here. And now it was not easy to calculate this combination for Furman, and he thought very long time here. For example, this queen controls this g4, very important square, and once black will sacrifice here, typically as we know, there will not be this check on g4. That's why Furman thought long time, and anyway he decided to sacrifice on h2 here. And we will see what happens. King h2, check, king g1, and bishop g2. So mate is a idea. King g2 was played. f3 is a bad move because there is queen h1 check, and after this we take on f1, queen f1, and then check. Only move queen g2, and then rook e2 check, and then we take the queen. That's why queen king g2 is only move, and rook c6. This was Furman calculated. He wants to give mate in 2. And bishop f4 here. Probably when his opponent played knight c4, he also calculated long before playing knight c4 and provocate Furman to this, and he hopes that he will defend position after this move. And now from first side, it's maybe we can think that white king can escape after this. For example, queen f3 with idea rook g6 and queen g3. Uh, Unfortunately, does not work for white. Not because of rook g3 fg, and white is okay here more or less because rook e2, rook f2, or even king f3. But in this position, rook e2 was very strong. With idea rook f2 check and take here. So forcing white to take on g6, and then we take fg here. The idea to play queen g4 check, then play g5 and transfer this rook to mate on h6. Anna Gambit, thank you for following. Welcome. Uh, and for example, bishop d2 here, and then we take rook d2, knight d2, and then queen g5 and take here. For example, this position. And material balance is equal by pieces, but this pawn is very strong. It's passer here, h5, g5, g4. That's why fg was strong move. Yeah, probably his opponent calculated something like that, so he decided to play bishop f4 in this position, try to cover this file, but queen e4 on the move and strong, and rook h1. This was his hope to escape on f1 here, to hide here, and then queen d2, rook e1. But rook f6 strong move by Furman here, and this is decides the attack. Uh, Now his opponent play rook h2. In case of f3, there would be rook g6 check, king f1, and queen g3. And there is no defense because there is a mate in one hands. After queen d2, we take on f3 and take on h1. Also, was not enough rook h3 because after queen f2, uh, king h1, rook e2 strong move here. His idea made on g2, and after queen g1 only move, there is a beautiful check on f3, and we take on f3. We give check on h6, queen h2. We can check here. We can check here and take the rook, and we see that we have exchange up and also pawns. Completely lost position. Yeah, that's what Furman should calculate. But rook h2 was played here, and after rook g6 check, king f1 loses the exchange and mate, and after king h1, rook e1, and his opponent resigned, duel of mate in 2. This was a beautiful game. The Poeta, thank you for following. Yeah, this is how you have to be careful and precise in attacking. Let me find some interesting ideas. We need something interesting, something more interesting. Manovsky Suparev. What is this? Let me find something, guys. 1 second. S17. Thank you very much too. Appreciate it, man. Welcome. I don't remember actually your name. You are new guy, yes? Vladimиров. Riches. Thank you. Okay, interesting game in Karakan. Yeah, there is one line in Karakan which is not so much um, analyzed and played. So e4, c6, d4, d5. We know the main lines are e5 or ed or knight d2 or knight c3, but f3. This is also very possible. So it's like if white think if black can play d5 6, why we cannot play e4 f3, right? This old move, by the way. e6, one of the most safe continuation here. Another lines are queen b6, for example, or also d, fe, and e5. But e6 was played. It was played in Moscow 1972 between Lutiko versus Gavrilov. Uh, for example, after d, fe, e5, white is sacrifices the pawn here. And in case of BT, bishop c4 with very strong initiatives, then castle, and then uh, very unpleasant threats here. Also possible instead of ED, play bishop e6, not allow bishop c4 here. We cannot take knight e5 because we'll be check on h4 and then take on e4 here. And in case of d, queen d1, king d1, knight d7 here, black has compensations. They can castle, then transfer knight here, and so on. Knight c3 is normal continuations, and bishop b4 leads to very complex positions. But in this game, e6 was played by black. So after e6, knight c3 was played. So what is this? We imagine that white played knight c3, black plays strange move e6, and white answer with strange move f3. Knight f6 was played by black here, by Vino. And we arrive to French system with really strange moves like c6 and f3. Bishop g5 was played by white. Maybe was better to play e5, knight d7, f4, transpose to the normal, one of the main line after c5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop e3. It was very complex game. So in this game, white played bishop g5. So this position once um, once arose in game between Smyslov against Botvinnik in 1958, and Botvinnik first played h6 and then played queen b6 here. But in this position, queen b6 was played immediately. a3, the idea is that after queen b2, we take control over this square, and after knight e4, we catch this queen. It doesn't have any square. c5 was played by black, bishop e3, bishop d7. Again, queen b2 was knight a4, so they control now e4 square and wants to take. e5 was played by white. J Twitch, G Twitch, hello. That replaced. Yeah, G Twitch. This is this logo made by Quadraspas in our chat. He's a uh, graphic designer, so he was very kind to send it to me. Han 9696, welcome. Thank you for following. Knight G8 was played by black. Probably after queen b2, maybe he didn't like this move. And then rook b1, rook b7, some initiative here. So he decided to play knight g8 more safe, and also idea transfer here. Knight g2 was played, obviously. Controlling important square, also connecting knight, so this is not tempo. For example, after queen b2, dc was very unpleasant here with idea rook a2. Catch the queen. So black played f6. They try to somehow activate the position. Can't say politics. Yeah, this is not the best channel for politics for sure. F4, this position. So white is trying to keep control on very important center here and have space advantage. Yeah, usually in French systems like this, if white will manage to develop and control, they will have better chances. So that's why white is trying to create fast counterplay. So knight h6 was played. You can say moves definitely now when we analyze these games, but not when I'm playing. So f3 was also interesting, and then knight h6, but directly was played by black. So looks like logical play by black. F by white, gf, and knight g3. That's why f3 first was more better probably to allow not allow this exchange, and now it, king side will be weak for black. And also knight g3 not allows knight a5, very active position for knight, and also open this diagonal for bishop. And now black thinks they have finally the good moment to take on b2 here, and they decide to take because knight is not protected anymore. RP chess, hello man, and we will see what will happen. So white understood this position deeper. Knight b5 strong move was by white here. So the threat is knight 7, also rook b1. So bishop b5 is necessary. Rook b1, attacking the queen and bishop. And now black made big mistake, queen c3 check. It was absolutely necessary to take on a3 here. And after bishop b5, knight c6, queen e2, white should still prove if it was correct sacrifice or not. But obviously white has stronger initiative here. They will make castle, and this king feels not so comfortable. But we'll see what's the difference. After b1, queen c3, bishop d2, and another mistake. Usually one mistake follows with another mistake. Now also queen e3 was necessary. I see you after 2 days and you look completely different. I just shaved a little bit, yeah. That's only different. I don't know what else. So bishop d2 attacking the queen. Uh, and again queen e3 was necessary here. But after queen h5 check, a very unpleasant check. Uh, the difference between previous variations that bishop on d2 instead of a3, and there is no waste of time. Yes, it's not hangs. And now king d8 on king d7 is possible, but after knight f7 and bishop b5, white will have really strong attack. After knight 6 castle, we see that both bishops strong, center is weak, king is weak, it's pinned, Both knights pins, then rook e1, then f5, everything is hanging here. Uh, so that's why probably when black take on c3, they wanted to eliminate this strong, as they thought, pawn on d4, but unfortunately they missed completely that after bishop b5 check and king d8, they losing the queen in the center of the board. This was a cold shower for the queen. No moves. There is no moves here, 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 and here. Incredible. Let's see one of the game in Scandinavian between Asev versus Shvechikov, Moscow 1994. Asev was a very strong player. Unfortunately, he passed away too early, and also physically very strong man. I don't know what happened to him. I forget. Maybe heart. And his understanding of chess was very very good. But unfortunately, uh, unfortunately, uh, unfortunately for him, he was always in time troubles. Makayla, thank you for following. Yeah, he passed away. Yeah, Konstantin Asiev. I knew him personally. Okay, so let's see his. Let's give him respect and let's see his game. D5 was played by Shvechikov. ED, Queen D5. This is a Scandinavian. Knight C3, attacking the queen. Most natural move. Queen A5. Also lines are Queen D6 and Queen D8. All other moves by Queen is probably not good. And the worst play is Queen C6, loses the Queen immediately here. So Queen A5. Did you not stream for 2 days because you chef? Yeah, pictures, of course. D4. And in real, I was playing online classical tournament for 2 days, 3 rounds per day. Timur Gareev won it. It was uh, 6 rounds, and he lost 1 game and won 5 games. And I made 4.5. I shared second place without loss, so it was not bad. It was 60 plus 5 uh, control. So knight f6, classical direction of Scantic. C6, a very useful move, controlling these important squares. Also, freeze this square for queen, for example. Sometimes it can be attacked. Um, and after c6, knight e5 played by Konstantin here. The classical continuation of this line is bishop c4 here. Thank you very much, FPHS. I skipped 2 days of school the first time I shift. Okay, so bishop c4 is a classical line, and bishop f5 here, or bishop g4, then h3, bishop h5, g4, bishop g6, and now bishop d2 or knight e5. So this is a classical direction. But Asev played knight e5, not allows this bishop g4 idea. Bishop e6 played by Shvechikov here. I'm not sure this is the best move, but okay. Bishop d3, g6 he played. Also knight d7 was played in many games. So g6 was played, castle, bishop g7, knight e2 by a save. He wants to transfer knight here. And this was previously played in 1991 between Fedorovich and Riccardi, Buenos Aires 1991, as I said. And knight bd7 was played in that game. In current game, Shvechikov played castle. So after knight bd7, Fedorovich after bishop d2, queen c7, bishop f4, protecting, and knight e5, bishop e5, queen d7, c3 or knight f4, or white still could have some initiative, but I'm sure that black is absolutely fine here. Okay, so in the game, played castle, knight f4 by SF, disturb this bishop, bishop c8 back, rook e1, logical continuation by SF. So he put this rook on the active position. And now his opponent played rook d8 and he weakens this pawn here. And SF played bishop e3, supporting the pawn. And knight bd7, bad move uh, by Shvechikov. Ivanov is funny. Baadur, are you shaved? What happened? What happened? Happens that I just shaved. So, let not bad. Okay, bishop d2 was played, attacking the queen. Also, idea that if knight will go, this will be uh, attacked. Yeah, beard is better, of course. Yeah, that's why I was thinking about 1 month to shave or not. Queen b6 played by opponent. Uh, in case of queen c7, knight f7 was prepared here. Спасибо you. And after king f7, there was bishop c4, very unpleasant check here. Knight d5, otherwise knight will penetrate to e6 with decisive effect. And after knight d5, there was bishop d5 check, cd, rook e7 check. This was idea with idea of fork. And we cannot take, yes, there's a fork takes the queen. And after king g8, there is another fork. King g7, knight e6. James Blunder, are you on Twitter? I want to retweet to my followers. How good? Yes, uh, I'm on Twitter, but I'm not using it. I just opened it many months ago, I guess, but I'm not using it. You can do it, of course. I think my Twitter is not James Blunder, but Blunder James, something like that. That's why he's opened a play queen b6, and after knight c4, another disaster came. This is hangs. So now queen a6 was more or less the best move, and after rook e7, the position is lost anyway. But he took on d4, and after c3, uh, no, sorry, after bishop e3, he simply uh, resigned because queen is trapped in the center. Cheers, JT. Rainfall. Do you have open studies on niches with opening analysis? What do you mean open studies? I'm just sharing some opening traps and ideas, some combinations, good games. So it's all together here. Okay, let's give respect to Viktor Korchnoi now. He played against Kozma with, let me refresh this board, I guess, like that. Uh, Kozma Korchnoi, it was played in Czechoslovakia, 1969. So black is Korchnoi. Is a study on leeches to analyze? You can use study. I don't understand you. What do you mean, man? What kind of study? What can I analyze? Maybe there is something. I don't know. So d4, knight f6 by Korchnoi. c4, e6. Victor is my favorite. LP chess, can you show some more Scandinavian? I have troubles against. I'm not big expert of Scandinavian. If I will find, probably I will show something. Knight c3 was played. Bishop b4 by Korchnoi. So Nimzo Indian. e3, classical line. Castle. Bishop d3. d5, knight f3. Here, Korchnoi played b6. c5 is the main move here. After castle, knight c6, a3, bishop c3, bc, it leads to well-known position, but Korchnoi played b6 here. Русская раскладка студия на английском стадии. Не, без понятия, если честно. Может быть. You can save your analysis. Yeah, I can save it, but the point that I just, it's not like analysis. I just share what I did before, and also I will have this video on my YouTube channel, so anytime you can refresh if you want. And so b6 castle, bishop b7, cd, ed, and knight e5 by his opponent Kozma. So they stabilized position in the center, and they preparing the um, some actions. Maybe they want to play like knight e5, f4, like Pillsbury idea here. And bishop d6 played by Korchnoi. Yeah, the idea was to play f4, then rook f3, rook h3, or queen f3, queen h3. Gary Nelson Pillsbury implemented these kind of ideas. Uh, but knight b5 was played by Kozma here. He's distracted with this idea. So bishop e7. This bishop is so important that Korchnoi keeps it on the board. Queen c2. I don't know why Kozma played knight e5 and then played knight b5, queen c2. I don't know why he was tempted with this. c5, b3 he played, a6, knight c3, knight c6. So black is playing much more logical. Also queen 7 was interesting here. So this both uh, both are attacked. Mike 2019, thank you for following. Knight 6 was by opponent, bishop 6, and knight e2. He's trying to support this position. After knight e2, uh, what was happened here? Bishop b7 by Korchnoi, he avoiding this pin here. Bishop b2 and g6. Close this diagonal. It's some prophylaxis. For example, dc was a threat, then take care, and then some checks in good moment. So g6 in advance. And rook a d1, bad move by Kozma. It looks so natural, but in really it's a mistake. Once black weakness this diagonal, it was interesting to take dc here. And after bc or queen c3 or rook a c1. I don't like actually how Korchnoi played this all, but okay. Maybe he wasn't too motivated in this game. So after rook d1, what do you think? What happened here? I will give you 2 minutes. So we're using motive that this rook took important square for queen. And how black is using this moment. Alex Evseo, hello man, how are you? Let me refresh the chat, I guess it's stuck. Mekkonen, thank you for following. I think we have Finnish guy in the chat. Welcome. Still don't see any messages. I don't know why. Something wrong with my chat, I guess. Okay, now finally. Brazuka, hello. Thank you very much. Really? Brazuka, nice to hear. If you appreciate it, it's really pleasure for me. Hello, Jigsaw does. How are you, man? Yeah, so the whole idea, yeah, c4 here, very strong move. So bishop doesn't have any move, right? We have to accept this. Pawn, dc, attacking again. So we have two moves. And the idea behind this bad move that after bishop c4, we play rook c8 here. And here is a pin, b5 is a threat. And in case of queen b3, there's a b5. So bishop again doesn't have any square but d3, but bishop d5 here. And queen doesn't have moves because queen d1 taken by this bad rook here. That's why after um, dc, queen c4 was taken by opponent. 1 second. And after that, what happened here, guys? Yeah, in this position, by the way, bishop c4, rook c8, white has d5 idea with d6. Uh, and in case of b5, there's a d6 here, bishop d6, queen c3 idea. And after rook c4, queen f6, queen f6, bishop f6, black has only little advantage here. But there is an alternative. Instead of b5, bishop d5 here. Knight d5 simply bad because of bishop, queen b3, or suddenly this rook is strong and this is hanging. But bishop d5 is a different story. And next is bishop f6, bishop f6. Using that rook d5, queen d5, there is a pin. And after that, knight f4 looks logical, attacking bishop, rook c4. And after queen b3, bishop d4, strong move here. And after ed, there is a b5. Yeah, probably in this position, white have to take on d5 with knight, queen d5. Now ed leads to b5 stable advantage for black because of isolated pawn, but rook d4 probably they have to take. And still after rook d4 ed, we have choice, take on d4 or take on b3 rook d8 with little advantage in the rook end game, but I guess queen d4 is better. But white still have chances to equalize here, to make a draw. But in the game, they played probably the disappointed or been confused of c4 idea. They take queen c4, bad move here. And after that, rook c8 was played here. And queen b3, bishop d5, he resigned. The point that after queen b3, bishop d5, queen a4, there is b5 move, queen a6, rook a8, queen b5, and rook f5. We see that queen is still trapped here. On the channel we have bot, yeah, Nightbot was always here, I guess, long time already. He just he's like acting like, like a little girl. Sometimes yes, sometimes not. Sometimes He's give you warning, sometimes lazy. Um, yeah, he's ego. Yeah. Let me find something good. One second, guys. Okay, let's see one of the game of Alexander Alokhin. It was played against Levenfish. Alokhin is white in Petersburg 1912. So Alokhin played d4 here. Levenfish answered with c5. Oof, one second. Let me read this long name, long account name. Is it what? Okay, I will call you 27. Something with 27 in the end. That is interesting. I have studied your games because I love your style. Never had the chance to watch you explain. That you're also quite the teacher. Thank you, thank you very much. I appreciate your words, man. So, d5 was played by Alokhin. Knight f6. Knight c3. c4 leads to Benoni after e6 or Benko or g6. Hello, my Yogav. My Yogav. So knight c3 was played and d6, e4, g6, f4, knight bd7. Bishop g7 was more safe, yeah. And after bishop b5, not knight bd7 because e5 or same after bishop d7, e5 very unpleasant because we don't have for this ef and then this is hangs. But after bishop b5, knight f7, the strong move here. Then we make castle and then this knight goes to c7. Uh, Give me your queen. Hello, Baadur Jobava. Hmm. But in this game, black played knight bd7, which is not natural. Yeah, this is theory. Um, Knight f3 logical continuation, preparing e5 move. a6 was played by Lemonfish. In case of bishop g7, there was very unpleasant e5 move here. And after d, fe, attacking the knight, uh, there was knight g4, and then e6, very unpleasant move here. And fe, d, knight d5, knight f6 loses because of check. And this is queen hangs, so that's why black plays knight d5 to have after check this only move. But still, after queen d8, king d8, knight g5, this position is definitely not a candy for black. This knight is strong, bishop comes, and so on. So um, that's why his opponent played, Levenfish played here a6, take control over this square. But after that, there's a previous variation even stronger for white. So e5. Let's see what happens now. D, fe, knight g4. Levenfish just played badly this game. e6. by Alokin. Knight d e5, and now he played bishop f4, and also was very strong h3 here, attacking the knight. He cannot go because this knight is hangs, and after knight f3, queen f3 also was very strong. And in case of knight e5, there is queen g3 attacking the knight here, and bishop g7, bishop f4, f6. Look at this ugly move, and these pawns are so strong and closing this bishop. And after long castle is a big advantage of white, because once castle, then will be very strong attack here. And in case of knight f6 here, ef, king f7, bishop e3 or g4 here. Also, white has a strong pressure, but Alokin plays bishop f4, attacking the knight. Um, Knight f3 played by Levenfish here. Queen f3 was also possible, but Alokin plays with pawn. Knight f6 and bishop c4 he played. Also was good ef, king f7, and simply play queen d2 and then make long castle and king is weak. But he played bishop c4. Probably after b5 he want to take knight b5 with idea knight 7. After this bishop b5 he stays with pawn up at least. Uh, Levenfish took on e6 here. Maybe he did not want to allow this kind of variations. Check here. So he decided to eliminate this pawn. D, queen b6. Uh, in case of exchange the queens, this pawn would be very annoying here because impossible to win it. So black is going after this pawn, but it has another minuses. Queen e2, strong move. This pawn is the main power of white. This we see that it's like dividing black's flanks from king side to queen side, and also not allows development of this bishop. So he sacrificed this pawn here easily. It was very hard to defend such position here. But anyway, black should play something like this, because what happened in the game is just bad. He took on b2, and after queen b2, knight b5, strong move by Alokin. So when he played this queen e2, he calculated. He sacrificed on a1 and he sacrificed on b5, the both pieces on the table for black. Uh, Now he take queen a1 here. In case of ab, there was bishop b5 check, and now black has this or this moves. For example, a knight d7, there would be bishop e5, very strong move, attacking the queen, and also defending here and attacking there. Instead of, in case of check, the c3 move, and after queen h4, bishop g3, and then just rook d1 and decisive threats. In case of bishop d7, would be ed, king d8, and again bishop e5 with a huge attack. In case of king d8 here, would be rook d1 check, bishop d7, and bishop e5 here. Queen b4, c3, queen h4, then bishop g3 here. And after queen g5, bishop d7, and game will be over very soon here. That's why Levenfish decided to take at least a heavy piece on a1, but king f2, using that these square are under control of knight, and he sacrificed another rook, knight c7 check, king d8, queen d2 check, bishop d7 and ed. So mate in one is a threat, uh, and black is resigning here in this position. Thank you, Della Corta, for your donation. Appreciate, man. Thank you very much. So in this position, mate in one is hangs, guys, and Levenfish did not find anything better than resign. E5 is not helps because there is a check on e6, king e7, check, uh, rook d8, then check on d8, king f7, knight f8 check, discover check, and after two says is simply mate. And in case of um, knight d7, simply bishop e6, and then queen d7 with mate. This is how Aliokin crushed a very strong player, Levin Fish. Let's watch some cool game of cool players. Salah W, thank you for following. First I thought it's Salah, some Egyptian famous football player. Yes, that was beautiful game. So this game was played in Amsterdam 1920 between Reti and Eve. Reti was white. Eve was born, I guess, in 1901, I guess. I guess he was 10 years older than Botvinnik. So in 1920, it means he was 19, and he learned chess very late. So he was not a good player so far. You mean previous game? Previous game, it was Alexander Alekhin with white against Levin Fish in Petersburg, 1912. It was played 1912. Alekhin Levin Fish, and now will be Reti Ave. So D4 was played by Reti. Ave played F5. E4. Yeah, this is a very active reply for Dutch, and Black has to be very careful in this line. They know too well. Mo Salah. You also from Egypt or not? Knight f6, bishop g5. Also f3 is a move here, but bishop g5. Uh, the previous one with beautiful mate, the sacrifice with both rooks, it was Alokhin versus Levin Fish, Petersburg 1912. Now we watch 1920 Amsterdam, Reti versus Ave. We know that Ave was from Holland. Uh, g6 was played by Ave. D5 is not possible here because we take and then check and take on d5. That's the idea behind bishop g5 move. c6 is one of the main move here. e6 also sometimes they play, but g6 played by uh, Ave. f3 ready. Of course, Reti played bishop g5 not to give it like that for this pawn. He wants to play for initiative, so he plays f3. Weber boss, hello. We're doing perfect. How are you doing? d5 is another line. Try to keep this pawn alive here. But Ave took on ef, knight f3, and bishop g7. Bishop d3 by Reti. We see that white gives pawn, but they have much better development. Also, files are open. These two files are open for uh, attacking, and also uh, when he clear this diagonal, these pawns can be under attack sometimes with h4, h5, or knight e5 with some sacrifices. C5 by Ave. He is trying to find some counterplay and activate his queen on the queen side. Uh, it was possible to play d5 and the knight c6, try to build up some uh, kind of defense, but he decided to active counterplay. But usually when you're less developed than your opponent, it's better to avoid such a things. D5 was played. Uh, Baadur needs to make me mod for sure. Okay, I can make you chess patzer. I can easily make you mod if you have time and willing. Confirm and I will and remind me how to do it. I think it's slash mod and your name, right? Thank you, man. Yeah, you want I make you mod? Okay, let me go 1 second to. I will from another laptop. I will go to my chat. You are welcome. Thanks to you uh, for giving me the idea. Because my traditional mod one is Indian friend and Twinkle Toes, but they are not online now. Currently. Let me 1 second. So what I'm doing now is a slash, right? Slash mod. 1 second, guys. 1 second. Don't hurry me. And chess patzer chess patzer UK, right? UK. What is this? I'm not sure if I did it, but I hope so. What the hell is doing? Thank you for following, guys. What the hell is this? Now? I think I gave you. Can you check? I think you are. Confirm, please. Okay, thank you, man. Feel free, whatever. Just don't close my account, please, and other things you are free to do. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so bishop d3 c5. I lost completely. What I was talking here? Yeah, so black wants to try to create some uh, counterplay here, and d5 queen b6. That was the idea behind c5 move. Uh, to attack here and also have this kind of support. Uh, Queen d2 strong move by Reti. This, of course, in the spirit of this play of Reti, previous play, it's not to play something like Rook b1, which looks very sad move here. So Queen d2, of course, he wants to play long castle or short castle in some moments and connect the rooks, and he's ignoring this attack here. So and Queen b2 played bad move by Avery. So he said A, he said B, and he says C, but all these three letters was mistake. So he played queen b2, rook b1, and uh, and when Eibe accept this pawn sack, he understands that queen e3. He solves that queen e3 not possible because of knight b5 and then this idea. But he was counting for knight d5. So he's so far 3 pawns up. Tanesh, hello. Nice to see you too. Long time, man. How are you doing? How is situation in Romania? By the way, do you know Gabriel Voiteanu? Say if you know him personally, say him big hello from me. So knight d5. This was his idea. From tomorrow we have to wear masks. Oof, very unpleasant information. But what to do? So the idea after rook b2 to take on c3, attack the queen and have 3 pawns. Yes, but Reti of course seen it too, and he played knight d5. Oh, very nice. You are very good friends. Very nice. Yeah, he's a cool guy. So knight d5 was, and this was surprise for Abe. And now Abe has to accept both rooks, and his queen will be out of game. It's the same idea like what we see in the previous game of Alekhine against Levenfish. So queen b1, king f2, and he has to accept. Uh, in case of queen b2, maybe Reti would take on e7 here. not allow the castle, also attacking the bishop, and knight is rook e1 here. And in case of knight 6, rook e1. In case of d6, knight c8 is possible, or rook e1. Even this position is not candy, yes, bishop c4 is coming. Yeah, but Ava take on h1 and bishop e7 by Reti. So black has a huge material uh, advantage, but white has a very huge attack here, which is impossible to defend. Yeah, cuts and chinken, it's the same motive, yes. So Ava played d6. The point that knight c6 or knight a6 was not helping duel of queen g5 here. And bishop d4 also was not possible because knight d4, cd, and queen h6 move here with either queen g7 and knight f6. Of course, I never checked this on engine, and maybe it refuted somehow, but from human point of view, it looks very bad. But queen a1 was maybe most uh, uh, strong move here, and it's not easy to refute that move. And bishop d6 was very strong move here, maybe only one. And bishop d4 check, king g3 here, knight c6. This is such a complex position here. Misha, thank you for following. And knight c7 check in this position. King d8 played by black. Instead of king f7, it would be queen h6, very strong move. This is all variations. In game he played d6, and then bishop c4 idea, knight g5 idea. We see what a strong attack rate he could have here. And after king d8, knight d4 would be strong with either mate after queen g5. So we cannot take queen d4 because of mate on e7. So h6 would be possible, but knight c e6 strong check here. Again, king e8 not possible because of mate in one, so d is only move. And knight c6 eliminating this very strong defender. Now bc leads to mate. For example, if you take check, and then king e8 leads to check here, and then mate on c7. So what a beautiful variations. King d7 would be only move, but bishop e4. And black is probably hopeless because after bc there will be bishop e5. Check as minimum and take the queen. That's why Ava was probably in shock here. He played d6, try to open this diagonal. Bishop d6 by Reti. And now Ava played knight c6. In case of bishop e6, try to close this file. There would be bishop b5 very unpleasant check, and after knight c6, bishop c check, bc, and quiet move queen g5 with a huge threat, and black cannot defend this kind of threats here. That's why he played knight 6, which looks more natural, and still bishop b5 by Reti. Bishop d7 played by Ave. In case of king f7 here, would be queen f4, very unpleasant check. And it's impossible to defend because bishop f5 leads to knight g5 and then bishop c5. And in case of king d7 here, uh, would be knight b6, another sacrifice. Look at this. One sacrifice to another sacrifice. And uh, and black gets mated here after knight b6. There is no defense. And in case of bishop e6, we already know there is take and queen g5. And after bishop d4, wins knight d4, and then this queen will penetrate. So that's why he played bishop d7. Yes, try to close this diagonal. Reti took on c6. Now bishop 6 leads to mate. That's why he took bc here. And queen e2, black resign here. So a way resign because um, in case of king d8, there will be check on c7, king c8, there is a mate here. That's why he give check on e2, not on e3. And in case of king f7, there is knight g5, king g8, knight e7, king f8, knight g6, double check, and after king g8, there is a mate in 2. So this would can happen. Again, my chat is stuck. I will reload 1 second, guys. I don't know why it's happening to this. Yeah, this was a beautiful crash. And actually, in the in, there was one interesting moment in the game when Red took on e7 here. Instead of take on e7, uh, there was probably even stronger idea. Uh, so in this position, he took on e7. So knight c7 check was also very strong. Now king f7 loses because check on the f4, and after king g8 because bishop f6 is bishop c4 check, and then mate. And after king g8, there is a bishop e7 here with mating ideas like bishop c4, knight g5. So king d8 would be only move, and bishop e7 check. So and now black has two choice: take knight or take the bishop. In case of king c7, for example, there would be queen f4 check, king b6 only move, otherwise mate on d6. After king b6, queen d6 check. Only move is knight c6, otherwise king f5 leads to mate in 2. So knight c6, queen c5 check, king c7. Uh, After king c7 was bishop d6 check, king d8, uh, queen g5 check, king e8, bishop g6 check, ag, queen g6. So only move king d8 and queen g7 here. First move without check. So rook is attacked, and after rook e8, queen f6 check, rook e7. Otherwise, after knight e7, there is knight g5, knight f7, or knight e5. And after rook e7, there is knight e5, and black is get mated because there is no defense against knight c6 and queen e7 or queen f8, knight f7. What a yeah, what a useless queen, really. Thank you very much, Piyush 2006, for following. Welcome. Yeah, so this was if black takes on c7. King e7 was played by, I mean, not played, another variation king e7, but again, queen g5 check here. Twinkle Toes, hello man. We have two mods now, Chess Patzer and Twinkle Toes. How are you, man? Nice to see you. Where you been? Yeah, that was crazy, Danish. So queen g5 check would be king d6 only move because this leads to check and then check. For example, this leads to mate in the center like this. Crazy. So after queen g5, king d6. Uh, Also king f8 is mate in 2 after check and mate on g5 here. So king d6 would be the option, but after knight b5 check, king c6 and queen f4 quite move. Probably black cannot avoid the mate here because this is mate. What to do here? King b6 only move, but after check and check, this will be mate on b5. Yeah, so knight c7, bishop e7 was probably even stronger. Grandpa, how are you? Yeah, this was a cool. Ooh, very, very tough. Thank you for following, guys. Cats and chicken. I have a trouble identifying all the blockings inside. Grandpa, bravo. Everybody is thanks to Grandpa. Thank man. Appreciate it. CO58. Thank you for following. Let me find some interesting game. Thank you, guys. This subject is how we distract the queen. Let me find another example. Yeah, by the way, there is a one trick maybe useful for black in bullet or bleed chess if your opponent don't know. Um, so after, for example, if you are white or if you are black and your opponent plays e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, knight f6, d3 with the idea to take and take care, yes? But knight e7, tricky move here. And now this is a trap. So the idea of this to play c6 and d6, then knight comes here, or first knight g6, yes, and then bishop and develop. And in case of knight e5 here, white is trapped here because uh, c6, this is a trap. We attack the bishop, and once it goes here or here, there will be check on a5 and you take the knight. And in case of knight c4 here, with idea mate, there is knight g6 move. And after e5, there is a knight d5, bishop a4, b5, and we give fork. Yeah, this is a trap. You can catch somebody. And probably the best continuation after knight f6, knight f7 here. And king f7, bishop a4, d5, and white has two pawns for knight, but uh, of course it's not enough. Okay, this is a very cheap, of course, very cheap trick. Yeah, for example, there is a one line which white can be used uh, after e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, knight f6, knight, so castle, knight e4, d4 here. So the main moves are a6, knight d6, bishop e7. Knight d6 we know leads to Berlin, but if opponent plays d5, looks also uh, normal, but it leads to catastrophe, to this disaster after knight e5 here. Passed pawn 9999. Thanks. Yeah, definitely grandpa. So after queen f6 or queen d6, it will be c4 in immediate attack. And after bishop d7, here you must know this idea. Uh, Parakovsky, hello. Thank you, man. By the way, Parakovsky, I ordered microphone. So probably it will be in this week or maybe beginning of next week. I will have finally microphone. So knight f7. This is a reputation line. So here's a fork. Uh, you have to believe me. So king f7 was played. Uh, Queen h5 check. King e6. Uh, g6 will be queen d5 check, and we take this knight. So king e6, black has to play, and now the most effective move probably is knight c3. So we develop the knight and same time creating the threat. And in case of knight c3 here, um, rook e1 is possible check, knight e4, and rook e4 check. This is a opening disaster. D and bishop c4, and there is a mate, whatever black will play. For example, king d6, there is a queen d5 check, and check here, and mate on f7. In case of king e7, there is a check, and after this, bishop f4. Or even play queen d5, and then bishop g5 is the same mate. Yeah, knight b4 also is loses here to try to protect this pawn. Because of check on g4, king e7, knight d5 check, knight d5, and queen e4, attacking the knight, and black is in real trouble. Also, this is coming, but objectively stronger than knight c3 probably is rook e1 even here, without a take on e4. And they don't have a good defense against this and bishop c4 idea. uh, on knight a5, try to control this square, will be queen e5 check, and then queen d5 here, and this will fall down. Yeah, you can also trap somebody in the French with white. Imagine you play e4, your opponent play e6, d4, d5, knight c3, bishop b4, one of the main line, a3. We know that e5 by botwinning games, what we've seen before, is the main line, but a3 is also a tricky move. Bishop c3, bc, de here, and queen g4. This is the idea. In blitz game, you can try. And the main move now, knight f6 by black. Queen g7, rook g8, queen h6, c5, and a very complex game. I played it with white against this line. But if black decides to play c5, with the hope that after queen g7 they have this queen f6 and go to endgame. This is a mistake because bishop h6, very strong move here. This is a trap. Queen f6 the idea, and then bishop g7. We cannot take because of queen h8. In case of knight um, d7, there is a bishop b5 pin. And whatever we play, we'll lose this exchange here. For example, in Caro-Kann with black, you have to be very careful after this line. In Blitz, you can, with white, try to catch the opponent. So knight d7 is a move. Bishop f5 is a main move, we know, knight g3 and so on. Knight d7, it was played in a famous game between Kasparov and Deep Blue, if you remember. Bishop c4, knight gf6, knight g5 attacking, e6 and queen e2 move here. Now white has two traps. First is very easy. Uh, Obviously bishop e7 here is a bad move because of knight f7. We give 7, then we give check and give mate on f7, or after king g6 we give mate on g5. So knight b6 the move. Try to control this square. Bishop b3. And now another trap. Um, um, Queen d4 is a mistake here. The correct move is h6. And after knight f3, it's a very complex game, maybe c5 or so on. I don't remember now exactly theory, but queen d4 is a mistake. Due of uh, knight 1 f3, attacking the queen and also aiming this square. Now queen d8 is a simply bad because knight e5. Uh, Bishop b4 is not works because of c3 here. And after bishop 3, we first go here, not bc because queen c3 and takes the rook. Simply queen f1 attacked, and this will take next move. And in case of queen g4 with idea exchange here, knight f7 first. Queen g2 leads to rook g1. And queen c5, there is knight e5 move, queen a5 check, bishop d2. And after bishop b5, simply c3. And we take on f7. For example, queen b4 also not works because of c3, queen b5, c4 we play, and then knight d5 here. What you said? Just Patzer. Ah, okay. Happens. Yeah, this is a uh, very tricky, little tricks in blitz bullet chess. You can easily catch someone if you don't remember or something. One second. All right, guys, let's see something, one more example, and then probably I will go to break, and then I will continue with some games of Karpov, I guess. We can continue Karpov games. Or Botvini games, maybe. Maybe we can look, no, let's go to Botvini games, yes? Because Karpov we did twice in a row, and we forget about Botvini games. Uh, I want to show some Botvini games, probably. Karpov versus Botvini, yeah? Yeah, let's see one interesting thing by Black. So, when will be Jobava games? Not today. E4, E5, knight F3, knight C6, bishop B5, A6, bishop C6, BC was played by Black, for example. This is a rare move. DC is the main one. But you can, in bullet chess or blitz, you can surprise your opponent BC, and he can play d4 here. Yes, very normal move. Knight e5 blitz, no way after queen e7. D4 he can try immediately take advantage of this. After knight e5, also you have queen g5, by the way. So d4, ed, and queen d4. White tries to immediately open position because they are better developed. So what happens now? Queen f6 can be possible. So e5, your opponent can in bullet chess, yes, immediately play e5. Looks very logical, attacking the queen, avoiding the exchange, and also not allow knight f6. Queen g6 here, castle protecting here, and bishop b7, modest move here. Instead of queen c2, knight c3, white has really strong pressure and initiative here for pawn. So bishop b7, very modest move with tricky idea. And it's a very nice hidden trap here. From your side, your opponent in blitz, in bullet, he can be very happy. He can play very bullet move e6, and he thinks that he crush you because this attacked, and after long castle, he can take here, and you cannot take because we take, and then he make this fork, and you are busted because king b8 also very bad position. But uh, the point that the idea behind this move that after e6 you take fe here, and he thinks that knight e5 finish the game, attack the queen and attack here, and he beat you. But queen g2 check, this is a hiding idea here, and c5 check, and we take this queen with a huge advantage. It's a two pawn ups in endgame for black. So this is an interesting uh, trap. Yeah, can be a useful idea. Of course, it's not necessary that white will play like that, but can happen. Let me find some interesting games here. Okay, let's see this game. It was played between two strong players uh, in 1949 in Leningrad between Estrin with white against Taimanov. So e4 by Estrin, e5. Let's see how strong players will play. Knight f6. This is a bishop's opening. Knight f6. No, today I will not play. Tomorrow is a title Tuesday, so I will invite you to my stream. I will stream tomorrow title Tuesday on Chesscom. d4 by Estrin. Very active move. ed. Knight f3. Knight e4 by Taimanov. Bishop c5 is also. It can happen from another openings, and after e5 d5, but okay. Also knight c6 move, but Taimanov accepts another pawn, queen d4, and he plays knight c5. Thank you for following Kankan 64. uh, and this retriment of knight allows white to create very strong attack. Bishop g5 attacking the queen. So now bishop e7 not possible, we take here. f6 is forced. Bishop e3. So Estrin weakened this diagonal and not allows castle possibilities. c6 by Taimanov. He wants to close it with d5. So there's a conflict of two sides now. If black will make d5 move and then consolidate and make castles, they just pawn up. So white in all-in situation here. They sacrifice pawn, central pawn, and they have to play very active and very fast. d5, a long castle in the spirit of position, pinning the uh, queen. Bishop e7 with idea castle, and queen h4 by Estrin here. He opened this rook and sometimes want to sacrifice here. Knight bd7 played by Taimanov. In case of bishop e6, it was very unpleasant bishop c5 move here. Bishop c5 and rook he1, and pinning the bishop, and we cannot go castle because we take, and we cannot take bishop because the pin. Instead of queen e7 leads to bishop d5, cd, knight d5 move, and then we will take here, and then will be fork. So with a huge material losses for black. Bishop e6 would be bad. Uh, in case of f5, for example, attacking this annoying queen, bishop g5 is possible here. After knight e4, we can play he1. Look at this, how many pieces are concentrated of white pieces. Look, these pieces are all out of game, and all white pieces are attacking something here. And after knight e6, the same, with a huge pressure on the king's side, on king's position. That's why Taimanov played after queen h4, knight bd7 here. And Estrin sacrificed this knight on d5 here. cd and queen h5 check. This was very important intermediate check here. G6 played by Tamanov. In case of king f8 here, would be queen d5 with idea mate on f7. Only move in, is e8, and then rook he1. And probably it's impossible to hold such position. Look at this pressure of white pieces. In case of knight b6, I guess queen c5 is coming here. So knight c4, simply queen c4 is just lost. After bishop c5, bishop c5, it's also a lost position here. Sai Chris, thank you for subscription, man. Appreciate. Thank you very much. Kasin Chicken, 1 second. What about leaving the pawn on f6 and yes, yeah, yeah. This is what I'm showing now, Kasin Chicken. Yeah, it delays probably for you my video, I guess. That was in the game. So queen h5, very strong move by Estring here. We see how much energy he puts in every his moves. So this is very important. You have to remember when you have development advantage and all pieces in the active position, you need to calculate these tactical resources and never reduce the power of your moves. All the time put pressure with move by move. No rest for your opponent. That's why I recommend you to find Mikhail Tal games, how he was good in attacking, because he always was, going forward and always with energy. And after queen d5, Taimano played knight e5. Rook f8, rook he1 would lead to another disaster. It's not possible uh, to save this knight here. I mean, it's a complete disaster. Yeah, if knight goes and bishop h6, we take and then mate. I mean, look at this position. I mean, all pieces on the. So Taimano desperately tries to simplify position, but it's too late. Estrin simply take on d8, bishop d8, knight e5, fe, bishop c5 here. And rest of the game is not interesting, but white has a pawn up and completely winning end game here. So they quickly won. Oof, what a game. Let me find something one more interesting. Yeah, what a crush of this game. Crazy. Estrin completely smashed Temanov position. Let me find, or probably I will make just. Okay, guys, I will make now some break. I will make a break now, and we'll continue with Botwini games. I think later. Yeah, that's what I will do. So something like in about I don't know, in about 30-40 minutes, I will continue. I will continue. So bye for now, guys. Bye for now. Yeah. See you later.